that she died of pneumonia?
Absolutely not.
Why?
There was the most expensive PR campaign against me to shut me down. If you actually knew what they did to me, there was a bounty on my head, there was a bunch of stuff.
You have volunteered to testify at the trial, correct?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, I am.
Usher did have a situation, and that situation led Usher to the hospital. Now, I'll let Usher explain that to y'all.
Kim died from pneumonia, but there's the first coroner's report that said it was ruled a homicide, and they found toxins in her body to prove that she had been poisoned. You know, they have poisons that create heart attack and pneumonia-like symptoms. Then right after that, Al had a meeting, and I was survivors and the late of Uptown Records. They were all writing tell-all books.
Al B. Sure is back in the news again after accusing Diddy of having a hand in Kim Porter's death. But this time, he also dragged Jay Z and Beyonce into it, claiming that they allegedly helped Diddy take Kim out because she was trying to help Cathy White. In fact, a lot of people don't know this, but days before Kim died, Diddy had already bought a coffin in anticipation of her death. Now, mind you, this is the same man who has been trying to convince us for years that Kim died from pneumonia, but he had a whole coffin bought for her before she showed signs of dying. Well, apparently, that's because he and his besties Bey and Jay had already decided on Kim's fate. Remember that book Kim was reported to be working on right before she lost her life? Word on the street is that it contained intimate details about what they did to Cathy and how exactly they did it. Okay, so unless you've been living under a rock, you've probably heard of Al B. Sure making multiple allegations, accusing Diddy and his associates of ending Kim's life. Right from the moment the news about Kim's death came out, Al B. was so sure that she didn't actually die from pneumonia, and he wasted no time calling it out. The very first post he made about her death was him blatantly calling it a murder instead of the natural causes excuse Diddy and the coroner cooked up. He made an IG post at the time of him crying and captioned it, "Just found this footage from the morning I learned of Kim Porter's murder and how it ripped the soul from my physical body. I do know very clearly that Kimberly didn't just check out all of a sudden over pneumonia. That's some BS. Girl, this man wasn't playing. He worked with Diddy too at one point. He was with Kim before Diddy came in and snatched her from him, and he is her baby daddy. If anyone knows Kim and Diddy well enough to make accusations like this, it would be him. I'm just saying. And folks seem to think the same way too. But he didn't even stop. So when Diddy finally got arrested and thrown in prison, Al was soon back on the block. And this time he was even more direct with what he said. Not only did he call Diddy out, but he also exposed his links in the police department, who either ignored all the evidence he gave them, alluding to Kim being taken out, or they tried to label him crazy so he would be put in a mental health facility and silenced for good. He said, "For over a decade and a half, I've been posting about and tagging random law enforcement agencies in hopes to protect loved ones, avoid deaths and tragedies that could have all been avoided. Despite this, I have been ignored, ridiculed, and medically silenced to cover up these crimes you're all now aware of by a very aggressive #PR team and costly campaign to silence and physically harm me from exposing. It only aimed to prevent me from further sharing publicly the facts and insights Lady KP shared with me during our frequent and intimate conversations in her selfless attempts to save my life, by sharing frequent plans to harm, and possibly by ending my life. I am writing this post to formally request an investigation into an entire group of individuals who worked at or around the residence of Ms. Kimberly Porter, including the publicists who assisted drafting this. It has come to my attention that these persons were also instructed to steal her computer and mobile devices, which contained her original book notes, and obviously that still didn't move the needle. So he took it even further and dropped a whole book called Do You Believe Me Now? In it, he made some really heavy claims, saying Diddy allegedly tried to have him killed more than once because he spoke out. In a sit-down with Good Day Today, he said that the medical crisis he went through in 2022 was not just some random health scare. According to him, he believes it was done on purpose and that Diddy was behind it. He said doctors still haven't been able to explain what caused it, especially since he was supposedly healthy before everything happened and wasn't showing any signs that he was about to go into multiple organ failure and end up in a coma. He also said he tried to go to the police because he was scared for his life, but instead of helping him, they allegedly brushed him off and acted like he was crazy. According to him, they kept telling him to get psychiatric help like he was making everything up. He even claimed some of those officers were allegedly feeding information back to Diddy behind his back. And it gets even wilder, because he said anytime he posted about Diddy or spoke on feeling unsafe, random people would allegedly start calling him with threats, telling him to delete it or else they were going to show up and handle him for good.
So you were in that coma in 2022. You had the liver transplant, you had the tracheotomy, I mean, all that stuff that went on.
Multi-system organ failure.
Yeah, right.
60.
Have they figured out what happened yet?
We will.
No, I mean, have the doctors medically, like, what happened to you?
Yeah, what happened? So,
Because you just collapsed, right?
yeah, so, you know, just mysteriously out of the blue, you know, which we do talk about in the book.
Yes,
What that,
I wanna get into
what
that.
What that process is. But yeah, so it's been quite a journey. And as I said, you know, even as it relates to writing the book, I went through many, almost, you know, more than a decade of being scrutinized and clowned by law enforcement, them telling me, you need some help. Really? What's wrong with you? No way, you know, just, but not realizing that they were also working for the situation.
Because you were hinting, saying.
Posting,
Yeah.
I get calls, take it down or else, so on and so forth.
So do you think specifically then that Sean Diddy Combs or people affiliated with him did something to you that caused you to have multi-organ failure?
I believe this to be the case, yes. Absolutely.
Wow.
My first time saying it.
Oh, and y'all remember that pneumonia thing I brought up earlier? The one the coroner supposedly said she died from? Well, it turns out the first coroner on the case, Ed Winter, allegedly found toxins in her system and was ready to call it a straight-up homicide. But right before he could spill that to the public, he got yanked off the case and replaced with a whole new coroner that Diddy allegedly handpicked himself. And this second guy just brushed Ed's findings to the side and went ahead and ruled it pneumonia anyway.
Kim died from pneumonia, but there's the first coroner's report that said that she died. It was ruled a homicide, and they found toxins in her body to prove that she had been poisoned. You know, they have poisons that create heart attack and pneumonia-like symptoms.
Now, going back to Al's interview, he said Kim actually warned him that Diddy was plotting to take him out. But what she didn't know was that he was planning to take both of them out, and she was going to be the first. When he was asked if he believed Kim died from pneumonia, he immediately said no, and that before her death, she was healthy and showed zero signs of someone who was sick.
You were on this train years ago.
Yes, many, many years ago, I posted some information that was, you know, basically trying to save my life. And thank goodness to my ex, you know, the wonderful Kim Porter, the late Kim Porter, who, you know, kind of warned me all along the way to, you know, just kind of watch your back, so on and so forth. And I didn't understand why.
Because of Diddy.
Basically.
Do you believe that she died of pneumonia?
Absolutely not.
Why? What evidence do you have?
She was in the best of health. We just saw each other prior to her passing. We were actually celebrating our son's new Netflix Christmas special, and she was doing just fine. In fact, we were all at the event together at Netflix in the lobby. Sean, myself, the children, you know, all having a great time, and I'm, you know, grabbing Sean like, what? And she's in the back going, stop, you know. So it was a really festive opportunity just for all of us to be together, because it's nothing like the circus that's out here. So it was, a lot of the stuff, you know, came to surprise, but a lot of the stuff will be revealed because, and that's why I thought it would be a good idea to finally tell my story. Every network came to me, participate in so and so, but I said, listen, I have no interest in speaking about another man.
So what does all this have to do with Cathy White? Well, it turns out that Jay Z and Beyonce allegedly decided to recruit Cathy as a surrogate. Apparently, Jay was supposedly already having an affair with Cathy before introducing her to Beyonce as a possible surrogate. Word in the street is, Beyonce ended up finding out about the affair while Cathy was already pregnant with Blue, so she waited till Cathy gave birth before allegedly making the move to get rid of her. Once again, this is alleged info, but a lot of people believe it because of Beyonce's highly publicized fertility issues.
In 2011, Jay-Z's longtime mistress Cathy White was laid into eternal rest after she was about to go public with her relationship with Jay Z. Cathy White was also pregnant at the time, and at the time that she was laid into eternal rest, that's about the same time that Blue Ivy was born. Yes, Beyonce did know about this woman, but it would have been a bad image if Jay-Z was caught in a scandal of cheating with this woman. So the lady actually reached out to Jay-Z and said that she was going to expose him. And as soon as she done that, a few days later, she was found dead under mysterious death.
But get this, it turns out that during all that time Cathy was doing all this mess with Beyonce, she was already getting brought along to wherever Beyonce and Jay went, which included Diddy's house. And through that, she and Kim got pretty much. In fact, it's been speculated that part of what going to expose in her rumored tell-all book was about Cathy. Candace Owens actually got her hands on a copy of the book, and she wasted no time running to her podcast to spill all the tea. And in case you're wondering, the book didn't just go into details about Cathy White. Kim also went off about the freak-offs, males, and how she allegedly found receipts of him helping Jay Z and Beyonce get rid of a body as well.
In the book, Porter allegedly recounts discovering and making copies of the sex tapes that Diddy made of himself having sex with young boys that he was managing, including an alleged tape involving an 18-year-old pop star who went on to become a household name. Porter alleges that when she discovered those videotapes of Sean and his sexual encounters in the bedroom in this vault, she made copies of them.
Wait to talk to you about this Beyonce baby bump conspiracy rumor, fake pregnancy thing that's being alleged. I just don't even know where to start, so I'm going to take you through it step by step. Here's how the rumor got started. Beyonce recently, like last Sunday, appeared on an Australian show. And when she sat down, the baby bump squashed, bent, and crumpled. Hold on. As ridiculous as it sounds, you know I did my research and we've got the video to prove. Hold on. So people started questioning, was this baby bump real or fake? Now, being a woman who, I had my baby bump, many of you have had baby bumps, I never remember my baby bump squat. Just take a look at the video. Okay, so here's Beyonce and she's walking out and everything is fine, she's 5 months pregnant. Then she sits down and, okay, no, we're gonna rerun it until you see it. Let's do it in slow motion. You'll notice she's either giving birth to a Frisbee or Stewie from Family Guy. Look at the shape. Look, do you see? There it is, there it is. What that is, B? Okay, now let's bring it back and freeze it. Yeah, oh yeah, we're analyzing. There it is. What is that? Is that a baby bump? I don't know. I was on bed rest the whole time. I'm not exactly sure. Beyonce's pregnancy is a way of keeping Jay Z's alleged mistress away. Beyonce's going to use a surrogate so she can maintain her body, but they're going to play it off like it's allegedly, like they gave birth. You remember I was the first one to say this, and you remember because wait, I haven't said it yet. Watch. It's going to be an at-home water birth in the master bathroom. There are going to be 3 people there. Beyonce, Jay Z, and her mother, Miss Tina. Watch.
And get this, Kim ended up going out under the same shady circumstances as Cathy. The official autopsy said pneumonia, but according to insiders, when they found her, there was red fluid all over the pillowcases and a trail of it running across the bedroom floor straight to the bathroom. I don't know about y'all, but that doesn't sound like regular pneumonia to me. A lot of people think Kim lost her life over what was in that diary, and honestly, it lines up. Oh, and mind you, Diddy had already copped a whole gold casket a month before she even passed. As usual, people had their thoughts, like this person who said, "I remember when Al B was sounding the alarm and no one believed him. May God continue to bless, cover, and keep him." Another person said, "Al has not wavered on his stance with Diddy. He has been speaking out for years." But now I want to know your thoughts. What do you think about Al B Shore coming out to expose all this information? And do you really believe Beyonce and Jay Z had something to do with Kim's death because of Cathy? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And don't forget to click here to watch this other very messy video.